They say age is just a number, but some mornings my joints disagree. I started to wonder, can the wisdom of the world's longevity experts actually make you feel younger? I didn't want theories, I wanted proof. So for 1 week, I lived by 6 core Okinawan principles. I'm not promising a miracle, but I am sharing the 3 specific changes that made me feel lighter on my feet and sharper in my mind than I have in years. The third habit in particular was a complete game changer for my morning stiffness, but it had nothing to do with stretching. This experiment wasn't about vanity, it was about vitality. It's about waking up with less pain and having the energy to truly live. To track my progress, I created a simple Feel Younger scorecard. Each morning, I rated my sleep quality, joint mobility, and mental energy from 1 to 10. My mission was to see if these ancient habits could move the needle on what matters day to day. If you value practical, evidence-based ways to improve your health, subscribe and hit the bell. We test ideas like this every month so you can see what really works. My first discovery began not with a diet or a pill, but with my favorite armchair. The first pillar I tested was joint health. I realized the enemy wasn't a lack of exercise, it was an excess of stillness. The Japanese concept I tried wasn't about adding a grueling workout, but integrating near-constant, gentle micro-movements. This counters our habit of sitting for hours, then trying to fix it with one intense gym session. So I set a timer. Every 30 minutes, I got up for 2 minutes. I'd walk to the kitchen, do simple standing stretches, or rotate my shoulders. It felt almost too easy to work, but what difference could 2 minutes possibly make? The answer came the next morning. Normally, when I get out of bed, my ankles and back need a minute to get going. After just 2 days of these micro-movements, the morning stiffness was noticeably less. It felt as if my joints were already lubricated from the day before. But movement was only half the equation for my joints. I realized that persistent achiness can also be fueled by inflammation from the inside. The traditional Okinawan diet is famously anti-inflammatory, rich in colorful vegetables like purple sweet potatoes and leafy greens. My rule for the week was simple: make half my plate vegetables at lunch and dinner. I focused on adding things in, not taking them away. This simple visual cue of a colorful plate was my guide. The combination of moving more and eating to reduce inflammation directly improved my mobility score. But easing my joints revealed another problem: a persistent afternoon brain fog. The second pillar I tested was mental clarity. We often accept fading focus as a part of aging, but it may not be inevitable. The Japanese have a concept called ikigai, meaning a reason for being. Studies link a strong sense of purpose to a longer, healthier life. I thought finding a grand purpose would be a huge task, but it can be much simpler. It can be your garden, a workshop project, or mentoring someone. For my experiment, I focused on my small workshop. Each morning, I identified one small thing I wanted to fix or create that day. This tiny act of setting a simple, tangible intention gave my day structure and a sense of accomplishment. It shifted my brain from passive to active mode. A clear purpose, however, requires a clear mind. That led me to Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing. This isn't about hiking. It's about simply being in nature and mindfully observing. Research shows that even 20 minutes in a natural environment can lower the stress hormone cortisol and improve focus. My commitment was a 15-minute walk in a local park each afternoon. I left my phone behind. I didn't listen to a podcast. I just walked and paid attention. The effect on my afternoon brain fog was immediate. Instead of reaching for more coffee, I returned feeling refreshed and sharp. My mental energy score climbed steadily through the week. The action is to find your small daily purpose, then schedule a short, tech-free break in nature to give your mind the space it needs. But even with a clearer mind, I noticed my energy still slumped after eating. which led me to the most transformative secret of all. Now we come to the pillar that truly made me feel lighter: gut health. This is where I found the game changer I mentioned. It's a Confucian teaching called Hara Hachibu, which means eat until you are 80% full. This is the opposite of how we normally eat, which is until we're stuffed. The magic is in the 20-minute delay it takes for your stomach to signal your brain that it's full. By stopping at 80%, you give your brain time to catch up and you realize you are perfectly satisfied. To practice this, I simply used a smaller plate. A salad plate replaced my dinner plate, automatically reducing my portions. I also ate slower, putting my fork down between bites. The first couple of days felt strange, but by day 3, the heavy, bloated sensation after meals vanished. My afternoon energy, which used to crash, remained stable. This single act of mindful eating had a bigger impact on my daily energy than anything else. But it wasn't just how I ate. The Okinawan diet is plant-centric. I added fermented foods like miso to support a healthy gut, and swapped my usual potatoes for purple sweet potatoes, a high-fiber food that provides steady energy. The combination of eating less and eating smarter was profound. I felt lighter on my feet, and that lightness wasn't just physical. It improved my mood, which connects directly to our final pillar. The last pillar is emotional resilience, an area we often neglect. You can have healthy joints and a clear mind, but isolation will undermine your health. Chronic loneliness can be as stressful on the body as smoking, raising inflammation and weakening the immune system. The Okinawans have a powerful solution called a moai, a small, committed social group that supports each other for life. It's a social safety net. I couldn't form a moai in a week, but I could apply the principle of intentional connection. So I scheduled 3 calls, one with my brother, one with an old colleague, and one with my neighbor. These weren't quick texts. They were dedicated 20-minute phone calls where my only goal was to listen. Each time I hung up, I felt a noticeable lift in my spirits, a buffer against daily stresses. Feeling connected is a biological need. The simple action here is to schedule one real conversation this week. Call someone you care about with no agenda other than to connect. So after 7 days, what was the final verdict from my scorecard? Did these 6 habits make me feel younger? I didn't wake up feeling 30 again, but the numbers don't lie. My sleep quality score went from a 5 to a consistent 7. My joint mobility climbed from a 6 to a 7.5. My mental energy rose from a 5 to a 7. In these 3 specific, practical ways, the answer was yes. I felt measurably better. The feeling of youth, I learned, isn't in the mirror. It's waking up without that familiar ache. It's having the clarity to engage with your day. It's feeling light and energetic after a meal. Of the 6 habits, the 3 biggest winners were the micro movements for my joints, eating to 80% full for my energy, and the daily nature walk for my mind. Now, I know some of you might be thinking this won't work for you. What if you have bad knees and can't walk easily? The principle is gentle movement, not just walking. Try chair exercises, arm circles, seated stretches. The goal is to fight stillness in any way your body allows. Another thought might be, I don't like Japanese food. You don't have to. The principle is what matters. Can you add more plants to your plate? Can you swap one processed snack for a piece of fruit? It's about the philosophy of eating whole foods, not a specific cuisine. Perhaps the biggest hurdle is ikigai, or purpose. It feels like a lot of pressure. Remember, it doesn't have to be a grand legacy. Your purpose can be your garden, the daily crossword, or checking on your neighbors. It's about having a reason to get out of bed that is meaningful to you. The beauty of these principles is their adaptability. Don't try to adopt all 6 at once. Pick just one. Which idea felt the most achievable for you? Start there. Practice it until it becomes a habit, then consider adding another. This is a journey of small, sustainable steps, not a race. This experiment taught me that feeling younger isn't a magic pill. It is the cumulative effect of small mindful choices. It's in the decision to stand up and stretch, to put a little less on your plate, to walk without your phone, and to truly connect with another person. Each of these acts is a small investment in your own vitality. You have the power to influence how you feel, starting right now with your very next choice. Start with one small thing today. Your body will thank you tomorrow.